training. So it teaches them about teen dating violence. It teaches them about unhealthy relationships and healthy relationships, right? Because we always hear that, like, everyone tells me what an unhealthy relationship is, but not everybody tells me what a healthy one looks like. Right. And then on top of that, they get public speaking skills. They actually do a photo project too, with a program that they work with that helps them, get cameras and learn how to take pictures and stuff. So they do a photo project as well as a combination of all of that. And then they start doing presentations in the community about our services, about, healthy and unhealthy relationships to their peers. So to other young folks, right? Awesome. In high schools and stuff. Yes. It's such an amazing, turnaround. Right. Yeah. And they actually also, will go and, lobby stuff. And, it's really great. Whatever they want to do, Hilda, who is the coordinator for that program, she takes them and she runs with it. She makes it happen, so it's really awesome.
I think that's a really big key is hitting our youth. I think about some of the stuff, and, our teenagers and when I was like, damn, who, even thinking back when I was, a teen, friends and stuff, you're like, damn, these violent, you really don't think about it. Now you're, empowering young girls and letting them know. And definitely, if we, like you said, you're trying to extend it to boys, to young boys and young men, I think it's so important for them to get that kind of education, to realize that, what's healthy, what's unhealthy, how to, do the whole gamut. Because, a lot of times, like you said, social media has changed the game so much that it's crazy. Nowadays, there's do you guys deal with bullying? Do you guys deal with all that? Because now you have cyber. I mean, it just seems to be growing and growing in such ways that it's like, where does it end?
Right. No, yeah, definitely. And they do touch on all that stuff. And then I do want to say too, if we have a survivor for sexual assault who's over 12 years old, we can see them for individual counseling because they have their own medical rights. I don't know if y'all know that, but that's a whole thing. Yeah. So it gets a little complicated as far as if that has to get reported and stuff like that. But as far as receiving services from us, their parent doesn't have to be involved at all in that process. And that's where it being free and everything is super helpful as well. Right. And then 18 and over for domestic violence, just because that one has to do, it's very heavy on the legal aspect of that. So we want to make sure, we're not doing anything where we're putting this child in harm by not reporting and stuff like that. So we always make sure that one's 18 and over. But, we know that it happens to folks who are younger than that. And we do work closely with other youth programs who can kind of help guide that, because we'll have kids call our hotline, who are 15, 14, and they're in abusive relationships and they don't know what to do. So, we try to work as much as we can within the system to help these folks.
I know we talked about you guys have little events where you bring the women in, you do makeovers and stuff like that. What else do you guys do for them?
Oh my God, there's so much. It just really always depends. But, we've done it where we have a makeover day and we had some ladies from a salon come in and they did their hair and makeup, and it's a really emotional time sometimes, because when you're in an abusive relationship, especially your batterer controls everything, right? The person who's causing you harm controls every aspect of your life. And sometimes, that includes what you get to wear, how you get to dress, how your hair looks and things like that. And so when these women come in, they get to say, I want blue eyeshadow and I want red lipstick and I want my hair curled back. And this first time somebody makes these come to reality, these dreams, it's very emotional. Yes. Right. We had an event for Valentine's Day called Rock for Love, and we did this yoga day. Basically, it was yoga in the morning, and then we had a yoga with the mommy, a mommy and me yoga thing for anyone with kids right afterwards. And then the whole time, we had these stones, those black stones that you kind of can leave anywhere. And so folks were encouraged to write with acrylic paint and stuff like that, positive messages to survivors. And then they were encouraged to go and leave those out in their community. So that way somebody could find that, Sweet. So yeah, it was a really big event when we did that one. We hold a vigil every year in October for Domestic Violence Awareness Month to commemorate the losses of folks who have had loved ones lost to domestic violence. It's a really big event we hold over at the East Los Angeles City College. April is always depends, but we'll do different events. We were getting flowers donated from an organization, and so we were able to bring in a bunch of the women and give them flowers, and that was super nice because you don't realize how many people. They were I've never gotten flowers just, for no reason, it was just because, and it was the nicest thing that anybody had done for them in such a long time. And so that was really, really nice that we were able to do that. Yeah. So lots of different stuff, just depending on where we can pull collaboration from.
That's amazing. it was very humbling and very aware, like going to the facility and realizing like, yo, how else is like, what can we do? How can you make that happen? You guys, I cannot encourage you enough. In our community, this is so important that people have a safe place to go after or before or preventative. Volunteer time, volunteer a little bit of money. If it's not money, time is always essence. Time is always essence. And make yourself aware and know that there are places that you can go. And I'm so excited to know and let you guys know that there is. I'm so excited about the shelter, 24-hour shelter.
Yes.
Like that's really huge. I know. So again, if you're living in LA, definitely follow up. And if you're not living in LA and you're in a different city or a different state, look up and try to find your local shelters and women's organizations to help you get the help that you want, and know that when they're saying to you that it's free and that you're able to go, that it is a safe place.
Yes. Yeah. And the 24-hour shelter came about because in Los Angeles, most domestic violence shelters and even homeless shelters don't do intakes after hours, right? So if folks are trying to flee an abusive situation and it's 3 a.m. and that's the only time that they were able to leave, where do they go? If they don't have friends they can trust, or friends that they feel like, I don't want to involve them, right? Because maybe this person tries to harass them too. It gets really, really deep and really complicated, and people don't realize how this really is hard, because you see, as a survivor, you see it affect everyone around you, and you feel really guilty, like that's what I hear a lot. Like you feel really guilty about everything because you have kids with this person, or, like your family really likes them or something like that. Or they threaten your family and they're just like, we don't want anything to do with that person if you're involved with them. It gets really complicated. And so having this outside agency that, can be objective and neutral and tell you it's okay, it's okay, whatever you want to do, we're here for you. And having this 24-hour access to shelter is so important. So our goal in those 24 hours is to link them to longer-term shelter. And so we collaborate with the shelters in the area to try to make sure that we know like where we could fit them.
Awesome. Perfect. Oh, and also, I know we also talked with one of your directors that deals with human trafficking as well, and how you guys work with the police and everything. I know she was supposed to be here today, but can you tell us a little bit about that? Yeah,
so the human trafficking aspect, Lisa, she's the outreach coordinator for that piece at our center, and that's its own thing. It's really, really complicated. Like when you're dealing with survivors, or not dealing with, but when you're working with survivors of human trafficking, it's very difficult to establish trust. I did human trafficking case management for like about a year at another center, and let me tell you, it is a constant uphill battle. And, Lisa works so well because she does so much street outreach. Okay, she's out there in the middle of the night at the bars where she knows pimps are at, traffickers are at, like being there forward. Like, I don't know how she does it. She's so brave. She's such a brave soul. And she cares so much, but she goes out there and she does these things and she gives them like gifts, she talks to them about the center. Like she'll bring makeup, and she'll bring toiletries, like feminine products to them and stuff like that. To the women who are at the bars, dancing, things like that, right? And so she establishes trust and she's up consistently, right? She shows up all the time. And so that also establishes trust. And sometimes she even establishes trust with the pimps, which is really weird. But then they let her come in and talk to them about HIV testing and talk to them about safe sex. So it's, you got to work with what you have at this point, because this crime is really also involved. All the work that we do, it's not one surface problem. Everybody comes in with multiple levels of issues, and you have to learn to work around all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, it's all connected. Like you see the trafficking, the domestic violence. There's so many connections to it all that we'll have to continue and have you come back and have Lisa. And definitely in October, we'll have you guys come back. We'll do something about, domestic violence, awareness month. October is a big month.
Yeah.
It's breast awareness.
Yes.
We got domestic violence, so it'll be a busy month for us in October.
Yes.
But so Claudia, let everyone know how they can find you.
Yes. So our biggest access to services is our rape and battery hotline. So that was how this agency got started. It got started on this based off of this hotline. And so that number is 800-585-6231. So that's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, fully bilingual in English and Spanish if you need services. You can always go on our website, which is ELAWC.org. So just the acronym of our name, East LA Women's Center, East Los Angeles Women's Center. And, we're all up on social media, so you can look us up on social media as well.
Website.
Our website also includes like a chat. So if you didn't feel like you could call, that wasn't safe for you, you can always chat or email us off of the website as well. We have a bunch of resources on there for folks. All of our programs are listed on there. Like I said, if you want to volunteer, if you want to donate, all of that information is on there as well.
Perfect. And then we'll definitely have all of that on our website, on our social media page, everything else. So that way, if you are interested in her services or programs or whatever, in their programs, you can definitely find an easy access way to get a hold of them.
And I do want to mention, even if you're not in the East LA area, we can connect you to your local center. If we're not local for you, doesn't matter. Call us and we will figure out what's local to you.
Absolutely. There you go. So call.
If you're in Texas, if you're in California, wherever you are in the United States, I will find your program.
Yeah, there you go. I love it.
Thank you so much, Claudia, for sitting in with us and chatting with us.
Definitely.
I want to thank all of our listeners for following us on this journey, and we will have more information on our website. Make sure you check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and also Twitter. Pinterest and Twitter. Yeah, we're going to start doing that and some little YouTube too. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good night. Thanks for listening. Take a little time to enjoy your brand of Moscato and Tea with us every day. Subscribe, rate, and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and MoscatoandTea.com.